So the Master Grade Zeta Gundam 2.0 right here is considered one of the greatest Master Grades of its generation, if not still to this day. This is my first time ever building it, so I had absolutely no experience whatsoever, but this is one of those kits that would go down as an essential build, kind of like the Master Grade Astray I reviewed in its place the last time. So the general consensus about this thing is that it is great, so, well, I have it built now and I can tell you I enjoyed it a lot. So the only thing that really makes me wonder how this kit will be is that transformation to its flight form. So this is a full transformation, not any kind of parts formation, and the only other Zeta I've ever reviewed like that, of course, was the real grade, and we all know how that went. But before I actually get into the actual review, I have to say thank you so much to Keeps for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Hey Gundam Bar Battles, what's wrong? I've gone bald! Oh, maybe you should have used Keeps. What is Keeps? Keeps is a subscription service that focuses on making it easier and more affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness online. With online doctor consultations with a real doctor, automated shipping and delivery to your home, constant access to your doctor through online messaging, and by offering generic options of the FDA-approved medications for hair loss. Did you know? 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35. The best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. Get treated from home. With Keeps, a licensed doctor will review your information online and recommend the right hair loss treatment plan for you. Then your treatment is shipped directly to your door every 3 months. Prevention is key. Keeps treatments typically take between 4 to 6 months to start seeing results, so it's important to act fast. The sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you can save. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, just go to keeps.com/Mecha Gaikotsu or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. That's keeps.com/Mecha Gaikotsu. So anyway, there is absolutely everything that comes in the box with the Master Grade Zeta 2.0. And honestly, there is so much in this kit. First off, that base is phenomenal. If you've seen the Master Grade Gundam Mark II and what that comes with, well, this actually links up with that for a double display base, which is really cool. You don't see that sort of thing in Master Grades these days. Weapons-wise, we've got a pair of beam sabers, beam rifle, the absolutely huge Hyper Mega Launcher, shield, grenade packs, parts for using with the base, a pilot figure and a crew member, and as for the stickers and decals in here, we've got 3 sheets, color correcting stickers, rub-on dry decals, and generic sticker style decals. But as per usual, let's start off with the aesthetics of the Zeta Gundam itself. So now jumping into the aesthetics with that full 360-degree spin, and the first thing I'll mention about this is it does have a classic kind of feel, or should I say a little bit on the old school side. I know 2005 is not old school by any means, and it is a 2.0, but I mean when it comes to the composition of the runners themselves. Of course, the finished model kit, as you can see right now, looks absolutely fantastic, vivid colors, and it's pretty much perfect. But building it is, well, it takes more effort than a modern kit would, mainly because it seems like back then Bandai could not print or mold on both sides of a runner, so you feel like you have to have 2 or 3 parts to every what would be a 1 part in a modern kit right now. It's almost like Bandai could only print on the top of a runner. So that means if you have to have some detail on the bottom and top, that's 2 pieces have to be slapped together. As for this build right here, I did just do a straight build. I did penline it a little bit and use some yellow Gundam marker. But besides that, this is pretty much what you'll be seeing out of the box, and it is beautiful. But anyway, let's get on in there for a closer look. So visually, the Master Grade Zeta 2.0 will fit in with any of your modern Master Grades. There isn't really a whole lot of giveaways that this is more of a classic Master Grade. Well, classic OG Master Grade 2.0. First off, I will mention that I did paint some of the yellow segments on this particular kit using a yellow Gundam marker. The reason is because these are all fairly small, simple, and easy to paint segments. So I might as well point out which ones are actual plastic and which ones needed the stickers, because there are some that are color separated. So the line of 8 up top, all these small ones which are A and O, these are down on the legs on the front and back, these tiny little yellow segments here. Sa and Shi, the biggest ones, these are not for using on the mobile suit, these are actually from the beam rifle and I did not use them. Nor did I paint it because I didn't use any of them. Ka and Ki, the next ones in the middle right there, those ones are for on the yellow segments, on the blue segments, on the forearms. And the last 4 there, which are Ku and Ke, those are for using up on the shoulders, these little yellow segments right here. Besides those, all the orangey yellow that we see on this particular kit is all color separated. So for the most part, this does look incredible, and I'm sure the stickers would suffice. As for the other stickers we have in here, U is for the eyes. This is the usual eye style sticker. Ko there is for using on the beam rifle. I have no idea why I didn't use that yet. I will use it come the beam rifle. The shiny blue ones up top, A and E, those are actually for using on the head cameras. Now I did not use E because I actually like to color the clear parts on my kits. I used a blue Sharpie to color that in. But as for A, you kind of have to use this one because there is no rear clear part on this kit. So it's either that or bare plastic. So probably the biggest giveaway when it comes to the age of this particular kit is the simple fact that the plastic does look a little bit, well, on the classic side. If you get in really close to a lot of the larger segments on it, you can actually see a lot of the folding in the plastic. This is a lot more prevalent in older kits. It's mainly in the darker colors. You will not see it in the white. You'll see it a little bit in the blue. Of course, painting it will cover that up, but I'm sure a matte flat top coat will probably disguise it quite well as well. Also, unlike modern kits, there is no real varying textures or surfaces on this particular plastic. Everything is a pretty high gloss. The white is a, well, glossy, not as high gloss as the blue, red, and the navy blue round back, but there is a lot of shine on this kit. I also just noticed there, I did paint the undersides of the front skirting because, once again, a bit of a classic aspect, there is no sandwiching to a lot of the parts. What I mean with that is, with a lot of modern master grades, if it is white armor on the outside, there'll probably be some grey plastic on the inside to give it that extra bit of dimension. So the underside of a lot of the flaps on this kit are just the same color as the top aspect. As for the stickers that we have in here, we've got some regular style, sticker style decals. We've got quite a few of these. None of them particularly stand out. They're just your normal caution and informational markings. And we also have some dry decals. Now these can be some of the hardest to apply because they are so fragile. The way you actually apply these is you need to cut them out in advance. Be careful not to damage them while cutting them out. Stick them to the surface of the kit using some masking tape. Or if you're feeling lucky, just your finger. And then just rub them onto the surface using something like a toothpick or something similar. I find just using your nail works like a charm. Or as I see right here in the manual, it actually recommends a ballpoint pen. Yeah, but what can I say? This is a kit that definitely holds up well. I very much enjoyed the build, besides the extra tedium involved in having to put extra parts together just to get detail on every surface. But besides that, it is solid, fun to put together, looks great, and I can see why this kit doesn't really need an update. Well, I guess we'll see when we get to the transformation. So now jumping back a little earlier in the review to where we saw all of the accessories lined up, now let's take a look at everything one by one. So the Zeta right here has been on its feet the entire review so far, and this is a little back heavy and has a little bit of the back heaviness, and it's not really back heaviness as much as the heels could have been 1 millimeter longer and would have saved this kit a whole lot of issues. So I stuck some blue tack on there to keep it from falling backwards all the time, not always successfully. So let's check this out. So this right here is one of the nicest looking bases I've ever seen with a Gundam kit. Of course, you've got some other nice ones like this, like what you get with the Strike Remaster, probably the standard Strike Gundam as well, and we would have seen this, or should I say a shorter version of this, with the Master Grade Gundam Mark II 2.0. So this right here is a whole lot going on. First off, this is meant to be, as far as I know, just like the catapult deck of the R-Gamma. These little feet pieces here, these can change angle like so to catapult the Zeta away with that sliding forward and back mechanism. And on top of that, we also have a hidden away stand inside of that. So if we get those catapult feet attachment points out of the way, then you can raise this up from below, lock into position like this, and you've got yourself a stand for holding the Zeta in the air. So in order to attach the Zeta, we've got two different adapter segments in here. One is for mobile suit form, which we're going to use right now, and one is for the Master Grade Gundam Mark II 2.0. and this is one of the most technical looking tips I've ever seen to a stand. This isn't just your standard pivoting tip, this has a little pistony section down here which can unlock, move up in order to change the angle upwards, and move down to change the angle, guess what? Downwards! So not only is the tip of this stand cool to look at, it's also really effective. The Zeta clicks in very nicely in the front, then rests on the back with another peg. This holds on so securely. This is a nice design. Why didn't they do it again? Does it not hold up? So sure, there might be similar bases out there to this one right here, but there's something this does that I don't think any other Master Grade or other base that comes with a kit does, and that is, if you grab the one that comes with the Master Grade Mark II 2.0, you can actually attach that onto the side like so. So I'm assuming this is the hangar or maintenance bay just off the side of the catapult deck of the Argama, and honestly, this is so cool. Why don't they do this more? Pop in a base or stand into a kit that kind of builds together with the other kits to build something. That is such a cool idea. So now moving on to the weapons and starting with the close quarters weapons, and of course that is a pair of beam sabers. While I'm attaching these, I will mention that these are those old school Master Grade 2.0 hands, so that means there are no alternate manipulators in here and nothing very expressive, just these standard style peg in the palm, some moving fingers, thumb and index finger move separately kinda hands. The beam sabers in here are about as generic as they can get, some pink beams in grey handles, but they do the job. When these are not in use, it's the same old routine of popping out the beams like so, and you can then store the handles in these opening compartments in the side skirting armors. It all closes up flush like so that is pretty neat. So the Zeta Gundam already has an opening hatch with some grenades inside of it, but we also have a pair of grenade packs that attach onto the forearms. If you push these forward, it will help open that flap up front as well as extend the grenades outwards, but you will have to manually open the flap. Also, it is interesting to know that if you remove the cover armor off the grenade pack, there are molded grenades inside of it. Just in grey though. So next up in here we've got the beam rifle. So this is very, very nice once again considering its age. We've got two colors on here, which is the grey as well as the navy blue. There is meant to be some yellow on the side of it, but there is not. You can paint that, use the sticker. And as for that sight, the reason I did not use that foil sticker earlier on is because once again I did color in the lens with a Sharpie to have it still maintain that kind of glassy, clear kind of look. Finally then, I will mention that this does have a pivoting handle which helps keep the handle out of the way or for some particular poses. You can also use the beam effect that we used with the beam sabers in the barrel of the beam rifle, and when the beam rifle is not in use, you can detach it, fold in the handle and the sight, collapse the barrel in a little bit, and then attach it onto the rear of the forearm. But no matter what I do, this never seems to attach very securely and always just seems to, well, fall off. Next up in here we've got the shield, once again looking good, matching colors to the mobile suit. We've got some nice articulation on this attachment arm, which will attach onto the arm, the forearm that is, into the exact same hard point as before. And this, unlike that beam rifle, and just like the grenade pack, holds on perfectly fine and looks pretty damn good. So last up when it comes to the accessories in here is the absolutely huge Hyper Mega Launcher. Now this is even longer than the Zeta is tall. This is mainly made out of blue plastic. We have some grey detailing here and there, and the surface detailing on it is quite nice too. This will definitely look great once panel lined and detailed up. Just like with the rest of the kit, attaching this is very simple. It just pops into the hands. I'm having absolutely no problem with these hands so far in this review, unlike trouble that I have had with similar hands with kits like the 00. On the sides of this, we do have a flip out grip armor section with a flip out grip inside of it, so you can have this held two-handed. Now the second handle does not clip into the hand, it's more so for the look as opposed to functional. And once again, this kit has no problem holding it up. There's nothing loose on this kit. This is solid as a rock. Well, at least for now. So now jumping into the articulation, and as usual, from that head down. So when it comes to the neck, we do have a giggity goo here, but it is a little bit on the limited side. Ball joint up top, what feels like a little bit of a hinge down below, but the overall movement here is quite low. And I'll mention, beware those antennae. Had a couple of close calls with those already. At the shoulder, we've got a couple of joints which allow the arm to move forward and back like so. There is the arm all the way up. This is quite limited, but we do have full 360 rotation here, blocked a little bit by the wing and the wing armor back there. Also a little bit of a flappy. Full spin right here at the upper arm, double jointed bend at the elbow, get you all you want. We've got a little bit of a pivot here at the wrist up and down, standard ball joint wrist, and as for the hand, the thumb moves, the index finger moves, and those last 3 fingers move together. We also have a hinge here at the wrist. Opening cockpit hatch with 1/100th pilot. There doesn't appear to be any kind of ab crunch here, not really much in the lines of rotation, and honestly, the more I play around with this, the more it feels like something is loosening up inside. Probably shouldn't do that. The front skirting is on ball joints, so usual right here. As for the side skirting, now this is pretty awesome. I'm assuming this is going to be part of the transformation, but this can move around a whole lot. Moving around now to the butt flap, and this feels like a premium. Actually, that doesn't feel very premium and there it goes. So yeah, there was something loosening up inside of it when I was moving around the waist. Be wary of that. Now moving on to the kicks, there's the kick all the way up to the front, so not so bad. All the way out to the back, a little bit blocked, but you can probably get more out of it, but I don't want to mess with that butt flap too much. As for the splits, there's the kick all the way out before, well, unlocking something, and once you unlock that, the legs just kind of flail around, but that doesn't count as the splits anymore. So now moving down to the knees, and there is the bend at the knee. There is another one below this, and I'm not sure if this counts towards the actual knee bend, but you can use it, and that allows it to bend all the way down like this, and a whole bunch of parts move too. That is pretty nice. Full spin at the upper leg. So we've got a flap with a vernier down here on the back of the leg. We've got an ankle armor flap on the front of the leg. At the actual foot itself, we've got a toe bend down as well as a toe bend upwards. At the ankle then, the functional movement that we get without taking the foot off the ground includes this all the way to the front, which is really good. This all the way to the back, also really good. But we do have a weak side-to-side pivot, which is inclined to make the armor separate just like this. So yeah, without a doubt, the articulation is definitely the Zeta Gundam 2.0's weakest aspect, but hey, we do have a full transformation in here, so we might as well check that out, and honestly, considering how solid it is for the most part, this is not that bad. So anyway, now moving on to the transformation, and as usual, this is my first time ever doing it that I'm recording right here, and this is definitely no, well, beginner level transformation. I will mention the transformed form that you get in the end is rock solid, it's just getting there isn't so simple, but it is impressive. For the most part, it's fairly straightforward as long as you follow the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers in the instructions as you go along. Everything is pretty simple until you get to one critical part of this transformation, and that is when you add the shield onto the underside to hold everything together. There it gets a little bit sketchy to line everything up. For me, I found the hardest aspect was to get the little kind of claw little segment that comes out from underneath the head lined up correctly to grab the bottom of the shield. That was a bit difficult, but once I got the knack of it, it wasn't so bad. One of the most impressive aspects about this transformation, and there are a lot, is the knees on this kit. I didn't realize how awesome they were while building it, but here you really can see that they are. You have to pull them out to extend them and unlock them first, and then when you bend them, there's this seamless move from being the standard mobile suit leg to actually bending up into the shape of a jet. This is no Master Grade wing. This is awesome. Not just a shield on the back of the head. When this is transformed, it looks absolutely nothing like a mobile suit anymore. Sure, you can kind of see the legs somewhat, mainly because of the Gundam style color scheme. If this had a more subdued color or a more uniform color, you would never tell there's a transformation in it. I love the Zeta 2.0. That is it for the review. The review is over, by the way. I adore the Zeta 2.0. I know there's a lot of cool variants of it out there. There are P-Bandai and whatnot. I want them now. This is great. This is one of the best transformations to flight forms I have ever seen. Once again, it is quite difficult first time around, but everything locks in so intricately that I'm blown away by the fact that this is 16 years old, and I don't know if Bandai has managed to top this transformation yet. So yes, the mobile suit is great, the articulation could be a little more dramatic, but you get exactly what you want, and the transformation is just so cool. The only minor issue I have is the attachment point for the rifle doesn't tend to hold into places very well. That's onto the forearm or onto the Wave Rider mode. It just tends to flop off every now and then. But if you have never built a Master Grade Zeta 2.0, then I will also throw my voice in with all that chorus and chant and crowd out there that say this is an unmissable kit, because it is. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Keeps for sponsoring the video, helping out the channel, and of course thanks to you. I'll see you next time. As usual, this video right here would not have been possible without each and every single one of you guys, so thank you so much for watching, and a special shout out to those of you who support the channel on the memberships as well as over on Patreon, including Bakito Official, Caleb Engelhart, Global Frequency Studios, Joseph Kukluk, Lauren Seahack, Mr. Winters, Sean T, Tyler Sanders, Van Fawn, and Craig Jerry.